A jury was selected today in the Kofi Goodwin murder trial. However, testimony isn't scheduled to begin until Friday.
38-year-old Goodwin is accused of killing 11-year-old Marco Archer between September 23rd and 28th of 2011. Goodwin's attorney, Jeffrey Farquharson, argued unsuccessfully that the murder trial be put off indefinitely, claiming the tremendous media publicity had prejudiced the case. However, Justice Bernard Turner ruled Monday that Goodwin would receive a fair trial. Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions Garvin Gaskin, Attorney Neil Brathwaite, and Darrell Taylor are prosecuting the case.
The coroner's inquest into the death of 36-year-old Jamie Smith began today before coroner Janine Weish-Gomez. Smith was found dead in a cell at the Central Detective Unit on February 8th. A pathologist found that he died from a lack of oxygen. Smith is one of two suspects who died in police custody in separate incidents. The inquest into the death of Aaron Roll, who died while in police custody at the Southern Police Station, will continue April 22nd. Prime Minister Christie says executives from the America World Clinics are eyeing a $200 million medical center for the Bahamas, which would be a major push toward medical tourism.
Right now, the group is visiting Nassau and Grand Bahama with the hope of presenting a business model to the government involving the export of U.S. medicine and targeting U.S. patients to seek care in the Bahamas.
Now, Prime Minister Christie says this venture is worth looking into as the government recently tabled legislation on stem cell research.
It will usher in a new regime of dealing with medical research and therapy of a nature that we believe will attract significant numbers to our country. I have met with professors of universities who are involved in that research now, who would wish to be here in the Bahamas. I have met with people who have already made significant investments in the country and are looking forward to the legislation and the regime that it will usher in. So I'm excited about the possibilities. I'm really looking forward to seeing how far it will go for us.
Now, Prime Minister Christie also addressed the economic situation in the country and said that plans are in the pipeline in just about every ministry, especially tourism, to create excitement about the Bahamas as a destination. But Bahamians, he said, won't be able to really feel the effects of the changes in the economy until about mid-year. One of their plans, he revealed, is taking over the Our Lady's Catholic School that will close its doors for good in June of this year.
We can have the results in education. You know, we're taking all these schools that the Catholics have given up, and we're creating, we're going to create in Our Lady's Church a special school for special children. I mean, there are so many things we're doing that people might not say doesn't have the glamour and the panache and all that sort of stuff, but it's good work being done, progressing the country.
Today was a proud and long-awaited day for the family of the late Sir Randall Fox. Members of Parliament were debating a bill which will rename the Labor Day holiday the Randall Fox Labor Day. In this report, Carla Palmer tells us that both sides have noted, or what both sides have noted about the honor.
Parliamentarians were on one accord in their support of the proposed bill to rename Labor Day to Randall Fox Labor Day. The renaming is taking place posthumously as Sir Randall died on June 15, 2000. Present in the House gallery, however, were Sir Randall's immediate family, friends and supporters. Minister of Labour, the Honourable Shane Gibson, moved the second reading of the bill. He reiterated the government's position of an honour due and just.
His life, his legacy, and the significant contribution that he has made to the growth and the development of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas in general, and the Bahamian trade union movement in particular, is why we pay tribute to him.
Other members of Parliament expressing similar sentiments were Representative for West Grand Bahama and Bimini, the Honourable Obi Wilshcombe, Opposition Leader, the Honourable Dr. Hubert Minnis, and MP for Baines and Grantstown, the Honourable Dr. Bernard Nottage.
Sir Randall Fox was a visionary, he was a revolutionary, and certainly, sir, he was a liberator of the human spirit.
Renaming Labor Day the Randall Fox Labor Day truly pays homage to a revered leader who worked hard for the social and economic well-being of all Bahamians.
That we are making a
we are making a strike to tell young Bahamians that they have a role to play in this country, that they have a responsibility to the country to be the best they can be.
Labor Day is celebrated the first Friday in June each year, and with the occasion fast approaching, its renaming is considered timely. However, what the government considered inappropriate were repeated comments by the opposition like this one made by North Eleuthera MP Theo Neely, to which Prime Minister the Right Honourable Perry Christie responded.
Mr. Speaker, this great man that we honour today was quickly stabbed in his back, as my leader noted, by the very same PLP and the party that he supported in the coalition to become the government of 1967. They turned against him in the general election of 1968 after the death of the then honourable member Uriah McPhee, in which they ran a candidate against him in that very next election.
It is never, never too late to correct or right any perceived wrong. I was fired by Lyndon Findling. Right. And you see where I'm sitting? You see which party I'm representing?
The debate continues. I'm Carla Palmer for ZNS Network News.
Well, speaking about Labor Day, Labor representatives were afforded a special treat on Tuesday night as they were the guests of honor at Government House. Representatives from the Organization of American States Inter-American Conference were hosted to a cocktail reception at Government House by His Excellency Sir Arthur Folks and Lady Folks, as well as Minister of Labor Shane Gibson. The delegation consisted of ministers of labor from various Caribbean countries. Entertainment for the evening was provided by the Urban Renewal Band under the command of Sergeant Campbell, along with the Royal Bahamas Police Force Pop Band. Well, when it comes to fair working conditions for the most vulnerable groups, Director of Labor Harcourt Brown says there's a need for policy coherence among ministries of labor, not only in the Bahamas, but throughout the Western Hemisphere.
And as Charisma Robinson tells us, the issue tops the agenda for the OAA as it meets in New Providence to discuss labor policies and other pertinent issues affecting regional labor.
Delegates attending the Organization of American States workshop on regional labor fighting for the disabled, young people, and women.
The success of these groups would also impact the success overall of each country because these groups are very large. If you would have looked at the statistics that was put there by the International Labor Organization, it was very sobering to see the millions of young people throughout the Western Hemisphere that are currently unemployed.
Right here at home, the latest labor force results revealed that the overall rate of jobless youth was up to more than 30%. Member states are now pushing for greater connectivity between training and unemployment initiatives in the region.
The absence of really skilled and ready to work people, coming out of our education systems, but not really educated to participate in industrial development in the sense that we would like to have. I thought that the discussion on that was very important.
From a trade union perspective, Robert Farquharson says more focus must be specifically placed on young men.
We have to design policies to attract young men, find work for these young men so they can become more productive citizens. That's one of the things that we have to focus on from a labor's perspective, from a trade union's perspective. I also think that trade unions need to be more involved in these type of meetings to position themselves to give advice and to give policy positions to the various governments. So when the governments bring legislation to Parliament, they will have the voice of the worker and they will be able in a better position to legislate policies and procedures that will govern the working people of the region.
Now, OAS officials say the workshop will help set the stage for the Ministers of Labor Conference in Colombia later this year, where ministers of labor throughout the region would have one common policy that would better prepare the labor market to respond to the challenges of 2013 and beyond. Charisma Robinson, ZNS Network News.
Former Turks and Caicos Premier Michael Misick has been rearrested by Brazilian federal authorities. Misick, who is seeking political asylum overseas, was arrested in Sao Paulo earlier this week following a Supreme Court judgment that refused his request. Turks and Caicos prosecutors made a formal request for Misick's extradition from Brazil back in January. He now faces a number of charges related to corruption and maladministration during his time in office. A 2008-2009 Commission of Inquiry found evidence of systemic corruption in the territory, leading the United Kingdom to suspend democratic government. The governor's office said in a statement that it is in the best interest of TCI that allegations of wrongdoing are thoroughly investigated and that Michael Misick returns as soon as possible to answer these charges. Well, still to come in the Bahamas tonight, the battle for Atlantis takes a different swing.
And who should be responsible for constructing the Mayaguana Airport? It appears that's in dispute. Hear from the MP coming up.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
This is your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm Jimenita Swain. Minister of the Environment Kenry Dorset says draft legislation governing the regulatory framework for oil exploration could come before Cabinet in a month's time. Dorset said he's received preliminary draft from the Attorney General's office, which is now being vetted by his office. Dorset says the draft could be placed before Cabinet before the upcoming budget cycle. Back in March, government announced it will allow oil drilling exploration to determine if the country has commercially viable oil reserves. It will be hard for commuters to miss the Lure of the Bahamas experience as Campaign Behold will be plastered over New York's Rockefeller subway station until May 5th. The campaign is a part of the Ministry of Tourism's multi-million-dollar advertising campaign. According to the New York Metropolitan Transit Authority, nearly 60,000 people passed through the subway station each weekday last year. Senior Director of Communications Nalini Bethel said one of the goals of Behold was to allow the natural beauty of the Bahamas to capture the attention of prospective visitors. On May 6th, the campaign will move to Grand Central Station. And for the first time in a year and a half, Apple's shares fell below 400. The Associated Press is reporting that suppliers are hinting at a slowdown in iPhone and iPad production. The stock was down 21.89 or 5.1% at 404.35 in early afternoon trading. Earlier in the day, it was at 398.11. For now, the decline means that Apple has lost its position as the world's most valuable publicly traded company to ExxonMobil Corp. It has a market capitalization of a few $1 billion above Apple's $380 billion price tag. That was your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm Jimenita Swain.